You wake up before your alarm, not because you're responsible, because the windows are shaking. A low, distant punch of sound that makes your chest feel hollow. Your mother is already in the hallway, telling everyone to get away from the glass. No siren. There's never a siren, just the blast. And then your family standing in the hallway in pajamas trying to figure out how close it was. Your uncle calls. Did you hear that? Your father answers. Yeah, we heard it. That's the morning news now, not a broadcast. Just phone calls between relatives comparing explosions. It's been 3 weeks since the war started. 3 weeks since the first strikes hit and parents started rushing to schools to grab their kids before the next wave came. Your school closed that day. The government said all schools and universities would shut until further notice. You thought that meant a few days, maybe a week. It's been 3 weeks. The building is still standing. That's more than a lot of places can say. Breakfast is tea and flatbread, maybe cheese if your mother found some yesterday. Maybe not. Your father is arguing with her again about leaving Tehran. Millions of people have already left. Your father says it's too expensive, too crowded, too uncertain. Your mother says staying is worse. You don't say anything. You're 17. Nobody's asking your opinion, but you're thinking, where would we even go? Your mother tells you you're going to the school today. Not for class, to help. The building is being used as a shelter now. Families are showing up because they have nowhere else to go. Their apartments are damaged, or their neighborhoods are being hit, or they're just too scared to stay home alone. The school has walls, toilets, electricity sometimes, and people in charge. That makes it better than nothing. So you're going, not because you want to, because your mother teaches there and someone decided you're old enough to be useful. The streets feel wrong. Not empty, but thin. Quiet in a way that makes your skin crawl. A few shops are open. Most aren't. You pass a building with all its windows blown out. Just empty black squares staring at you. Someone swept the glass to the side of the street. It glitters in the morning sun like snow. You see other people walking with bags. Too many bags for a normal day. Everyone's carrying their whole life in plastic sacks just in case. You reach the school. The gate is open, but the second you walk inside, you know it's not a school anymore. The courtyard is full of people. Families sitting on blankets, kids running around, a woman crying into her phone. A teacher you recognize is standing near the door with a clipboard. She's not taking attendance. She's writing names, room assignments, who has medicine, who's missing relatives. You stare at her and realize she looks older than she did 3 weeks ago. Inside, the hallways smell the same. Dust, old books, cleaning chemicals, but the sounds are wrong. No bells, no laughter between classes, no teachers yelling at kids to stop running, just low voices, babies crying, phones ringing when the signal works. Your classroom, the one where you used to sit by the window and pretend to pay attention, is full of people. A family of 6 sitting on the floor. Blankets, bags, a little girl asleep on her mother's lap. Your desk is gone, pushed against the wall to make space. You stand in the doorway and feel something crack inside you. This was your space. Now it's theirs. And you can't even be mad about it because where else are they supposed to go? A teacher grabs you. Not your teacher. Someone else's. She tells you to help move desks. You do. She tells you to carry water bottles to the second floor. You do. She tells you to take a crying kid to the bathroom because his mother is trying to call her husband who hasn't answered in 2 days. You do that too. You're 17, which means you're old enough to be useful and too young to say no. So you become the errand runner, the extra pair of hands, the kid who does what needs doing because everyone else is too busy surviving. By mid-morning, you're exhausted. You sit in the hallway and lean against the wall. A boy younger than you, maybe 13, sits next to you. He asks if school is canceled forever. You don't know what to say. You want to tell him it's temporary, that things will go back to normal, but you don't believe that anymore, so you just say, I don't know. He nods like he expected that answer. Then he asks if you think they'll hit this building. You don't answer, because the truth is you don't know, and the worst part is nobody knows. There's a rumor going around. Someone says a school got hit, a girls' school in Manab. Someone says 168 students died. Someone else says it's propaganda. Someone else says it's true. They saw it on the news before the internet got shut down. You don't know what to believe, but the rumor spreads through the building like a fever, and suddenly everyone is looking at the walls differently, like they're made of paper instead of concrete. Schools aren't supposed to get hit, but they are getting hit. So what does that make this place? A shelter or a target? Lunch is whatever people brought from home. You see families sharing bread, cucumbers, dates, canned beans. Nobody's eating much. Everyone's saving. Saving food, saving water, saving battery life on their phones. Your mother brought rice and chicken from home. It's cold now, but you eat it anyway. A little girl watches you from across the room. She's maybe 5, skinny, dirty, staring at your food like it's gold. You break off half and hand it to her. She takes it without saying anything and runs back to her mother. Your mother sees and doesn't say anything. What's she going to say? Don't feed starving starving kids. The afternoon is worse than the morning. The initial adrenaline is gone. Now it's just exhaustion. People are getting irritable. Someone's yelling about water. Someone else is yelling about space. A man says his family needs a private room. The teacher says there are no private rooms. He yells louder. Security. Some guy who used to be the gym teacher steps in. It doesn't escalate, but it almost does. You watch and realize this is what happens when you put too many scared people in too small a space. Eventually someone snaps. You help tape windows. Inside, not outside. The teacher explains that it's to keep the glass from flying if a blast hits nearby. You press strips of tape across the glass in an X pattern. It feels stupid, like tape is going to stop a bomb, but you do it anyway because doing something is better than doing nothing. A woman watches you work. She says, "Thank you." You nod. You don't feel like you're helping. You feel like you're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Evening comes. The light outside turns orange, then gray, then black. The building gets quieter, not peaceful, just tired. People are sitting against walls, staring at nothing. A baby is crying somewhere. Someone is praying. Someone else is arguing in whispers. You find a corner and sit down. Your phone is at 30%. You've been saving it all day. You check for messages, nothing new. Your best friend hasn't answered in 2 days. You don't know if that means he left the city or his phone died or something worse. You don't let yourself think about something worse. A man asks if you have a charger. You do. He plugs his phone into the outlet next to you. While it charges, he tells you he's from a neighborhood in the south. A strike hit his building. Not a direct hit, but close enough that the windows exploded and the ceiling cracked. He grabbed his wife and kids and left. He doesn't know if his apartment is still standing. He doesn't know if he'll ever go back. He's talking to you like you're an adult, like you have answers. You don't. You're 17. You don't even have answers for your own life. Night is the worst. The building creaks and every creak sounds like a plane. Someone drops something in another room and half the people in your hallway lift their heads tense, waiting. You can't tell the difference between a generator, a jet, a drone, or someone dragging furniture. Every sound is a threat. You try to sleep on the floor. There's a thin blanket someone gave you. It smells like dust. You close your eyes. You can't sleep. Every time you start to drift, someone coughs, or a kid cries, or the building shakes from another distant blast. You stare at the ceiling. You used to stare at it during math class. Now you stare at it and think about how stupid that was, how easy your life was. 3 weeks ago, you worried about exams, about whether your crush liked you back, about your hair, your clothes, stupid things. Things that don't matter when the city is being bombed and your school is full of refugees and nobody knows if tomorrow is coming. Your mother is asleep a few feet away. Your father is awake, staring at his phone. You can see his face in the screen light. He looks old, older than he did this morning. You wonder if you look different too. You think about the boy who asked if school is canceled forever. You think about the little girl who stared at your food. You think about the man whose apartment might be gone. You think about your best friend who hasn't answered. You think about the 168 girls in Manab who went to school one day and never came home. You think about how a school is supposed to be the safest place for kids, and now it's just another building that might get hit. Someone whispers a prayer. Someone else whispers a curse. You don't know which one makes more sense. You pull the blanket up to your chin and stare at the water stain on the ceiling and try not to think about what happens if the next strike is close, if the walls hold, if the tape on the windows does anything, if anyone will come for you, if this building full of families and teachers and kids is a shelter or just a convenient target. You don't sleep much. None of you do. And when morning comes, when the sun starts turning the sky gray again, when your mother wakes up and asks if you slept, you lie and say yes. Because what's the point of telling the truth? The truth is you're terrified. The truth is this school isn't protecting anyone. It's just collecting people who have nowhere else to go and hoping the bombs miss. The truth is you're 17 years old and you're supposed to be worrying about your future, but you can't even imagine a future anymore. You can only imagine the next hour, the next blast, the next family that shows up with nowhere to go. This is your life now. Your school is a shelter. Your classroom is a refugee camp. Your teachers are coordinators. Your classmates are displaced families. And you're just a 17-year-old kid trying to be useful in a war you didn't start, don't understand, and can't stop. You carry water. You tape windows. You calm crying children. You charge phones. You pretend you're not scared. And at night, you lie on the floor of your old classroom and stare at the ceiling and hope that tomorrow this building is still standing, that your family is still together, that the girl who stared at your food gets to eat again, that your best friend answers his phone, that the bombs miss. That's all you can hope for now. Not peace, not normal. Just one more day where the school doesn't get hit and the people inside don't become a number on the news.